Download this code and get free GPT-4o from codegive.com, link in the description below. Sure. In Java, the timezone class is part of the java.util package and is used to represent time zones for date and time calculations. The getDefault method of the timezone class retrieves the default time zone of the Java Virtual Machine, JVM, where the application is running. Understanding time zones in Java. One time zone. A time zone is a region of the Earth that has the same standard time. Time zones are defined by their offset from Coordinated Universal Time, UTC. To default time zone, each Java application has a default time zone that is typically set based on the locale of the system where the JVM is running. If not explicitly defined, the JVM uses the system's default time zone. Getting the default time zone. To get the default time zone, you can use the timezone.getDefault method. This method returns a time zone object representing the default time zone. Code example. Here is a simple example that demonstrates how to get and display the default time zone in Java. Output. When you run this program, it will output the default time zone details, which might look something like this, depending on your system settings. Breakdown of the code. 1. Importing the timezone class. We import the timezone class from the java.util package. 2. Getting the default time zone. We call timezone.getDefault to retrieve the default time zone. 3. Displaying time zone information. The getID method returns the ID of the time zone, example America/new_York. The getDisplayName method provides a human readable name for the time zone. The getRawOffset method returns the raw offset from UTC in milliseconds. We calculate the hour's offset by dividing the raw offset by the number of milliseconds in an hour. Important notes. The default time zone may vary depending on the environment and can be changed programmatically using timezone.setDefault, timezone zone. Always consider the impact of daylight saving time, DST, when working with time zones, as offsets can change throughout the year. This should give you a solid understanding of how to get and use the default time zone in Java. If you have any further questions or need additional information, feel free to ask.